So our job as a business owner is not just to build it. It is to build attention to get to it. And so all of a sudden, we started noticing that when we launched something, when we announced it, when we debuted it, when we gave people a reason to care, when we produced content around that, I say we is like me, my dog, and my husband. Like, let's not get it twisted. It was just the two of us taking little small bites and pieces out of this thing. In 2016, I decided I'm going to launch a digital course. It is the first time I've ever done this. Most of anything that I'd ever sold. I also, in the middle of this, I also created a magazine. People said, well, we want to hear your story and we want a book. And I was like, a book is not my really thing and you don't make money on books. And then I had an idea. I was like, I've never created a magazine, created a 185 page magazine that was essentially my story, tips, my own photos. I created a magazine because I wanted to be in magazines. And I was like, if I'm not going to be in a magazine, I'm just going to make my own. We sold that magazine for, I believe it was like $29. And we had a print of 15,000 magazines and we sold out the first 10 within 30 days. So we're having these revenue drivers. And so I'm thinking, okay, so we have experience with digital products. We have experience with physical products. We have experience on producing content, just connecting with people, finding a way to get people's attention to the business. But then I asked myself, I'm going to create a course. I've never charged $197. Now, Anthony, I was like, nobody's going to spend $197. Like nobody, this is just crazy. So I still have my photography business. We're making multiple six figures on that. We're traveling around the world. And then I say, I'm going to take 2 weeks off. I'm going to write out this content. I'm going to record this content. I'm going to upload these videos. And then I'm going to be like, okay, it's going to be there the same way I had done it before. And then I thought to myself, what if we were to launch it differently? If we want change in our revenue, we have to change as entrepreneurs.
Facts.
And then all of a sudden, we created a framework of what we're going to do. And Anthony, in my wildest dreams, I put out an offer. I taught a live class. I was nervous. I was sick. I was cradling the toilet. My face was green. And I look up. I was like, baby, I think I got the flu. And he's like, you're not sick. You're worried sick. You worried yourself sick. Now get out there and do the thing that you had said you were going to do. So I teach this live class. I'm worried sick. 5 days later, $255,000 from a $197 course. And that right there, Anthony. And then here's another thing. We had other launches the same way. We got better. That one course for $197 ended up turning into $1 million revenue stream in 10 months.
So what I'm hearing you say, Jasmine, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't like misspeaking for people, and I like to be very accurate, is that you've mastered how to take your wisdom and knowledge that you have on the inside of you. You've mastered how to take what some would say is a job, photography business, or what some would say ideas, put it on paper, turn it into a product. Once you turn it into a product, you've mastered how to get it in front of people so that they can buy. And what I've learned from you is you've learned how to really get it in front of the right people and have the right people buy from you. And you've almost doubled and sometimes tripled your income with the strategy on how to launch your product or your services. Because I've bought in some of your stuff and you don't even know it. Like your social media, you did something around social media a few years ago, and I was like, yo, let me get, Jasmine is winning. Let me buy this thing because I want to learn more about that. And I'm like, listening to you now and listening to your story is you started where you were strong at, and then you just grew and you just learned how to launch. And to now to see that you have 7-figure multiple streams. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. And this is why I wanted you on the show, because you're going to be having a masterclass, a webinar teaching, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's called the 4 Steps to Doubling Your Revenue, right? That's the name of the
That's
class?
what we're going to be teaching in the class. But the title of the class is how to create a promotional launch plan to double your revenue in 60 days.
In 60 days. So
your girl's
this
not
is why
playing.
when
Your girl's not playing.
Right. So this is when I saw this, I said, yo, I need you on my show, because I'm coming to I'm coming to this class. Because even as someone on my level, I'm like, yo, I want to learn this. Like I need this information from someone who's been doing it for so much longer than me. But I want to double my revenue. And if Jasmine can teach me that, I'm going to be front and center. And so, Jasmine, give us some information, the dates, the time of this information. So because I'm going to put this in today's show notes. It's going to be anthonyoneal.com/double. You'll be able to get in there and get your VIP seats next to me, y'all, virtually. And I want to track how many of you all are actually going to be coming, because I want to know from the E3 community. For those of y'all saying the E3 community, if you haven't updated yet, in 2024, we launched E3 Family. We are expanding in abundance, wellness, and freedom. This is what we're focusing on within my community. This is going to help us expand.
I like Anthony. We abund. Let's make that a word. Let's make that our word. We abund.
Listen, we abund. That's not even proper grammar. My people be like, that's not even proper grammar, everything. But we are expanding in abundance with this, because if we can learn how to double, that's abundance. Wellness. When we have double, when we have increase, you guys, our mind is better because we can rest, because we're not worried about money. And then it's going to help us expand in freedom. If we have more income coming in, we now have the freedom and options to do the things that we desire. So this fits, and this aligns with the E3 community and what we want to do. And so we're going to drop all this information in today's show notes, anthonyoneal.com/double. You should see it on your screen. But real quick, Jasmine, what are the dates? What are the times? And what should we expect from this? But then I have some other questions I want to ask you just about your business and your entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get this information to them right now, because the 4 steps of doubling your revenue, I think, is crucial. I need it. I'm going to be in the building, because I don't want to just double. I want to triple. And I believe if I can learn from you, I'm going to come back and figure out how to triple my revenue. So what exactly are we learning within the 4 steps?
So if I can backtrack a little bit, because I want to make sure that the listeners are going to get value, because yes, we can talk about that. But oftentimes as entrepreneurs, and what I've learned over time, Anthony, is people want to know why. But people are listening right now. They're like, I don't need Jasmine to sell me something. I'm not trying to tell you something. What I'm trying to do is simply look at a distillation of what I see around me and ask myself, how might I serve? Yeah. And in the process of serving, how might I extend my career? And so all I'm asking people to do is watch for the patterns for things that are related to the thing they want to do. And then ask yourself, can I put myself in this conversation? Because first and foremost, if you put yourself in the conversation and you serve really well, then all of a sudden people are like, if we're vibing and we resonate with each other, then I want to learn a little bit more from her. So here's the thing. This launch model, we used it to launch my podcast back in 2020. We used it to launch my mastermind in 2023. We have used it. So the reason I'm bringing these things up is because, Anthony, for years, I thought what I was doing was part of the course. Until 2023, I have a group of 15 people. It's powerful. They're sitting there. And these are 6 and 7 figure business owners who decided to join for 6 months and say, we want to up-level our business. And I'm sitting there, Anthony, in the room with the most brilliant entrepreneurs. And we spend about 85% of the time talking about launching, getting more eyes on their offers. So subscriptions, digital products, ebooks, courses, memberships, all this other stuff. And I'm sitting here and I'm answering these questions. And I think to myself, how did y'all get to multiple 7 figures without doing some basic stuff? And I think to myself, wow, if you did all that, just imagine if you do these small steps to re-strategize how much more you're going to make. And so then there was a few people in the mastermind who launched, and they said, like, we doubled our launch. Like, we doubled what we got from our membership. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. But I don't say anything. I'm like, cool. This is what we do. And then I am a part of a mastermind because I eat my own dog food, right? If I have a mastermind, I better be filling my own cup. So I'm a part of a mastermind, and the gentlemen in these mastermind, they have like 8 and 9 figure businesses. So here's your girl, like the only girl in this group. We have these conversations and I talk about, okay, so we recently did this launch for a course, and we did recently followed this launch model for a mastermind. And so we got like 30,000 leads for the course. We converted it at this percentage. We made this much money up revenue over the subscription lifetime. This is what we're gonna be making in. So that was easily like over 7 figures. We did this mastermind, wanted to keep it small. We wanted to test the waters. We did like multiple 6 figures on this mastermind. And the guys on the call are looking at me and they said, can we hire you to do that in our business? And Anthony, it was a light bulb. Because I thought to myself that the way that I'm doing something is unique, when this whole time, Anthony, I thought it was normal.